Hey everyone, Axel Draws here, and in this video I'm making the helmet from the movie Gladiator. To assemble all the pieces, I'm using super glue and activator spray. I'm making it out of birch plywood, which is an odd material to make a helmet out of, but I had too much birch plywood and not enough helmet, so here we are. Before making a helmet, it's very important to know how big your head is. I found this out by clamping my head in a vise and then measuring how open the vise is. It worked pretty well, and I highly recommend this technique to anyone with a head and a vise. Once the framework is done, the next part is pretty easy. Basically just layer plywood to fill in any gaps, making sure to keep the curves and shape consistent. To figure out what shape I have to cut, I hold the plywood where it's going to be on the helmet and then trace wherever the helmet touches. If you're wondering why the plywood is brown, it's because I painted it brown. I didn't have to make this part perfectly exact because next I used a belt sander to finalize the shape of the dome. Sometimes plywood has voids in it, and when I was gluing the pieces together there were a few gaps, so I filled that in with Bondo and sanded it smooth with an orbital sander. There's a curved piece over the face of the helmet, and I think the easiest way to make that is to stack several layers of plywood on top of each other. So I cut them out with a jigsaw. I used wood glue to join these pieces, but I superglued the corners to hold the stack in place while I clamped it. I cut out the part where the eyes go on the faceplate, and I had a slight change of plans, which is why I removed the eyebrow area here, and then the faceplate gets put on the helmet. This next piece is for the eyebrows and this triangular forehead thing. I made this out of pine 2x6 because I was running out of plywood, but I wasn't running out of 2x6. I did some shaping on this piece with a Dremel tool and a sanding attachment. And I'm always looking at reference photos and the drawings I made to make the helmet look as accurate as possible. Next was the nose piece. I made this out of maple wood because it's a bit sturdier than pine and I needed the pieces to be pretty thin. I also used the disc sander because it's a lot easier to get lines exact than using a jigsaw. For the big mohawk, I again used pine. I cut out 2 pieces and glued them together to get to the right thickness. I then used the table saw to remove most of the unneeded wood so I don't have to spend all day shaping it on the belt sander. Once I had a good fit, I glued it on and moved on to the final piece of the face covering, which was these bars that go down on either side of Russell Crowe's mouth. Those were pretty easy to attach, I just had to make sure that they were at the right angle. The helmet in the movie also has a few dents, so I made sure to add those with the Dremel tool. The helmet was almost done, and one of the last steps was to add spikes. To make them, I sharpened a dowel on the disc sander and then cut it off with a table saw. There's 26 spikes and I made sure to mark where each one goes based on my reference photos. The final step was this little circle with a flower on it for the side of the helmet, and then I could begin to paint it. I started by painting the inside and the outside black. I still needed to add foam padding on the inside and wanted to make sure that all the gaps wouldn't be visible. I used hot glue for the padding. It's not the strongest glue, but I think the foam won't fall out anytime soon. Once that was done, I could paint the outside with a metallic acrylic craft paint. I used more black paint to weather it and make it look old and used, and once the paint had dried, the helmet was finished. If you like this video, I have a few more on my channel you can watch. If you don't like this video, fair enough. Anyways, that's it. Bye.